When you sit down to eat, do you ever really think about where that food comes from? Really think about it? It's this incredible story that kicked off about 10,000 years ago, all starting with just a single seed. So today, we're diving into agriculture, the revolutionary idea that literally built our entire world. Let's get into it.
When you hear the word agriculture, you've probably picture a farmer on a tractor, right? And yeah, that's definitely part of it. But saying that is kind of like saying the internet is just for sending emails. The reality is so much bigger, so much more profound. And it all starts with one really crucial distinction.
So, let's ask that question. What really is the difference between, say, picking wild berries you find in a forest and deliberately planting a seed? It seems like a small thing, but that one little shift, well, it's the dividing line between two completely different ways of being human. It's the decision that changed absolutely everything.
And the word itself gives us a huge clue. It comes from these two Latin words, ager, which means land or field, and cultura, which means cultivation. So at its very core, agriculture is literally land cultivation. It's that exact moment we humans stopped just taking from nature and started actively shaping it to do what we wanted.
But this whole shaping of nature thing wasn't just a one-off event. It was more like a partnership, a dance between human action and biological change. And the two concepts driving it all? Cultivation and domestication. These are like the twin engines that have powered agriculture for thousands of years. Okay, so let's break that down. Think of it this way. Cultivation is what we do. It's the human action of tilling the soil, watering, pulling weeds. But domestication, that's the reaction. It's the biological change that happened in the plants themselves. Over generations, we basically remade them, and in a way, they remade us, becoming completely dependent on us for their survival.
And check this out. This is a perfect example. Wild grain, over on the left, it's got these spiky bits called awns that help it scatter its seeds in the wind. That's great for the plant, right? But it's terrible for a farmer who wants to collect all those seeds. So over time, we just kept picking the plants without the awns, like the one on the right. Now the seeds just cling to the stalk, waiting for us. That right there, that's domestication in action.
So, over thousands of years, our relationship with the land has evolved. A lot. You could say agriculture has worn three different hats. It started out as an art, then it became a science, and now it's a massive global business.
And this progression, it wasn't just about getting better at farming. It was a complete shift in how we thought about food. So let's look at how we went from seeing farming as this generational craft to seeing it as a problem for science to solve, and finally to seeing it as a commercial enterprise. For most of human history, farming wasn't art. It was pure, hands-on knowledge. A farmer didn't have a weather app. They knew how to read the sky. They didn't have soil sensors. They could feel the difference in the dirt with their bare hands. This was a craft, passed down from parent to child, built on literally generations of trial and error. Then the whole goal changed. It wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about efficiency. Agriculture became a science with this intense focus on one thing. How do we get more food from less land? This way of thinking led to incredible breakthroughs, high-yield crops, herbicides, and even really radical technologies like hydroponics, where you can grow plants without any soil at all.
And that, of course, brings us to today, where farming is a massive global business. The main question is no longer just, can we eat? Now it's, is this profitable? And that mindset drives everything. Huge-scale mechanization, complex global supply chains, and treating land not just as a field, but as a financial asset.
So what does all of this evolution from art to science to business, actually look like on a global scale? Well, the impact is, and I mean this, staggering. Agriculture hasn't just changed our societies, it has physically reshaped the face of our entire planet.
And when we say reshaping the planet, this is exactly what we mean. If you were to divide up all the habitable land on Earth, what do you think the biggest single use would be? It's not our cities. It's not even our forests. It's agriculture. It takes up the biggest slice of the pie by far.
37%. Just let that sink in for a second. More than a third of all the livable land on this planet is dedicated to feeding us. It is the single largest human footprint on Earth. I mean, that's a testament to our success for sure, but it's also the source of some of our biggest challenges.
But there was a reason for this massive takeover of land. Look at this chart. As the global population just exploded, especially in the 20th century, our farmland expanded right along with it. This incredible expansion is the only reason we were able to feed a population that tripled in just 100 years. It's truly mind-boggling.
But that success,
it didn't come for free. Feeding billions of people has created a whole new set of really complex problems. So for this last part, let's take a quick look at where agriculture is today and where it has to go tomorrow.
You see, the drive to innovate is still going strong. On the left, you've got traditional soil farming, what scientists call geoponics. But on the right is something else entirely. It's called aeroponics, where plants are grown with their roots just suspended in the air, getting fed by a nutrient mist. It's wild. And this method can use 90% less water than traditional farming, which just goes to show how radical the new solutions are becoming.
But the path forward is, well, it's tangled. These aren't separate problems. They're all part of this interconnected web. So a drought, that's an ecological problem. It can wipe out a crop, which is a production problem. That in turn can bankrupt a farmer, which is a socioeconomic problem. See? You can't just solve one. You have to confront them all at once.
And that leaves us with one last critical question. For 10,000 years, agriculture has been our greatest solution to the fundamental problem of hunger. But in doing so, it created a whole new set of environmental and economic challenges. The real question for our time is this: can our oldest innovation solve the very problems it helped create?